Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Spoiler Force Podcast. You can find all episodes on any podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and watch episodes on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to follow Spoiler Force on all social media platforms at Spoiler Force Podcast.
This is Mark Whitten, and you're listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Set your heart ablaze.
All right, so this is episode 112 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. As you can see, this week's guests, I have my cousin Michael, my boy T, and my good friend Andrew here. We are here to discuss the 2022 Batman film directed by Matt Reeves. So this movie the time that we're recording today, the movie came out last week. By the time this episode drops, the movie would have been out for 2 weeks, so it's fair game when it comes to spoilers. So y'all can't get mad about that. But thank you guys for doing this, man. Honestly, I've only watched the Batman once, so yeah. I don't recall most of it. I just remember what I liked. How many times have you seen it? T, how many times have you seen
it? 2 times. I was supposed to go my 3rd time today.
Okay.
I was too tired.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what you were doing.
Andrew, you only saw it once, right? That night.
Yeah, I saw it once. Yeah, I
Okay.
saw it once, and I there's a reason why I only saw it once, and that's like one of my biggest dislikes is because it's just way too long. So I'm not gonna go see it a second time.
We'll get into that in a bit too. Oh no, but show them what you bought though at AMC.
Yeah, so I canceled my my first showing for Imagine Theaters because my brother-in-law was like, "Yo, you should get this," and it's like, all right, so I canceled it and went to AMC just to get this. I paid an extra $2 for my ticket because AMC was being greedy. They were charging an extra $2 just only for the Batman. The only way you can get this is, it's like an extra, like you gotta buy a large popcorn plus an extra $15. So basically, I paid $15. I mean, popcorn's like $15 for a large. So you need to pay about $35 just to get this because you're supposed to be able to put popcorn in here. So,
oh wow!
Does it hold a drink or just popcorn?
Just popcorn. I think if I wanted to pour beer in here, I'd probably put. I can
drink. Do a beer challenge. Just drink out of the cowel.
Yeah, but then there are holes too, so I don't know.
Oh,
but that was like the joke that my brother-in-law was saying. Yeah, we're gonna. That Jackie was saying, "You gonna drink out of that?" I'm like, I don't know. But I only went to the AMC just to get this, and worth it. My wife was like, "Why?
Why not?" I gotta say that's pretty tight.
It's cool. I wish I could put it on, but it's just.
Hey Andrew, you didn't get the comic book?
No, I think that was on certain theaters, but I got this. I didn't get the comic. Wait, I think the comic book was only for the fan thing.
Yeah, the fan, not only fans, but the fans only event. Because you went on a Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday night, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, that was like early screening.
Yeah, they gave me this.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but
I think it's just a variant cover of The Long Halloween. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was like I heard that was like a prequel to like the movie.
I don't know. I heard like multiple things, but
well, looks like you're the only one who's gonna be able to tell us.
No, I don't think T wants to open it. He wants Robert Pattinson to sign it so that he can hang it up on his wall.
Yeah,
and never read it.
Dude, if Robert Pattinson goes to Comic Cons, I know T's going.
Maybe if Zoe Kravitz go, then yeah. Dude, she's babe.
Yeah, my cousin Michael and I, we watched it. His older brother Matt took us to go watch it on Thursday night, and that was my first time at the Cinemark theater, so I didn't know that it was like all level flooring. It's just like everyone's on the same level when it comes to watching the movie, and the theater screen is like higher, so I'm like sitting back and I'm looking up at the screen, and like I wasn't asleep, but I caught myself going in and out because I was looking up and leaning back in the chair. I was too fucking comfortable. I was like, God damn, dude, like I'm about to fall asleep watching Batman, dude.
What?
Yeah, but for real, like I was that comfortable. Like I was sitting back, I
No,
was sitting back and I was
they're
looking
like
up.
actual recliners. Like it's you legs propped up and everything, and yeah, that movie theater. It used to be an old one. Cinemark 16, like real old one. This is one like my parents took me to when I was a kid. But I guess to keep it relevant, they like put in the recliners and whatnot, just to kind of like give it more appeal. It's like movie theaters either one of two ways. They went for the like studio movie girl type, where they start serving food there, or they go for like the recliners, and I guess some of them do the Dolby experiences too, or whatnot. So.
Wait, T, you saw it in IMAX, right?
Mhm.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
Sure. It was good. I think I prefer that over the Dolby, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
I would too.
Yeah, those two are different, right?
Yeah, Dolby's
Dolby
more
is-
for sound.
I think
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
different for each theater. I mean, I think at Imagine Theaters here it's like it's EMAX, which is bigger than
Yeah.
IMAX. And I think AMC is a Dolby. It's a bigger screen too. So I mean, I went to see it in Dolby Atmos, and everything vibrated, especially during certain scenes. It's like the Batmobile scene is like it vibrated.
Oh,
like
that
your
was
chair,
crazy.
right, and all that.
No, it's just the sound. It was loud too,
Okay.
where everything just vibrated.
Hey,
I wish I was able to see I wish I was able to see the where the chair moved, but then I also heard that the only time that actually really moved was during the Batmobile chase.
Hey, can I? Is it too late for me to switch to my iMac?
No, you can hop on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll see you come back on. And I'll bring you back.
Okay, all right. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try to see it Wednesday night, with the fan screening, but then all the tickets were like tickets were like $20 just for, I mean, just for that night, and the only seats that was available was like the floor seats, and I hate
Front row.
I hated seeing the floor seats.
Oh no,
Uh,
that's worse.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw anything in the floor seats, or like actually the first row, like legit the first row, was the Karate Kid, Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. I was like right up there. I was like, man, I hate this so much.
Dude, my worst movie experience was the Hunger Games. I got there late, and this is before you could reserve seats. I got there late. I'm rushing to get my popcorn and drink, and then I had to sit on the far right side, right where the aisle is when you walk into the theater room, on the far right side in the front row, and I spilled my drink on myself too. That was my
Oh.
worst movie experience. I think that's why I hate the Hunger Games, because of my experience watching it.
Dude, I didn't even finish. I think I only got halfway through the second one, and I just never went back. So.
I watched the sequel only because I wanted to see Jennifer Lawrence. After that, though, I was just like, this is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. The Hunger Games is a stupid movie, because at the end, the girl, her sister that she wanted to protect, fucking died anyway. Or at least I think that's what happened.
I don't even know what
It's
happened.
just, it's so stupid. It is. It's just, I don't know how this caught on. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence saved that movie, and yeah. But
What's
that's
your
my
opinion
rant
on her
about the Hunger
now?
Games.
It was only in my opinion, it's because I've seen them, and I don't think it was terrible. I think it was mid. But
I'll stop.
the only reason I feel the only reason it either got big for two reasons. Number one, the cast, Jennifer Lawrence, and was also the cult following, because it was a book.
Oh no.
Oh. But yeah, no, it was a book, and I know that at that time, books that were becoming into movies, were, I guess even still today, are kind of a big deal, because you got all these, like, I don't want to say bookworms. Is that offensive? I don't know. These book
The fact
readers.
that you have to consider that the word bookworms is offensive.
Look, I'm not a reader, so
It's like the folks that like books.
what I'm saying is, y'all, you guys, you readers. But no, I mean, if it wasn't for how well a book series does, I haven't seen Dune, but I've heard a lot of I've heard that movie was held in high regard, and also that was the source material for that was a book as well too. So I mean, a lot of good, great films come from books. So I'm not trying to out the readers here. So
Yeah, we gotta wait for Andrew. Andrew disconnected too. So
Oh shit!
yeah. No, we were
can't-
talking about like our worst movie experiences. So what's your worst movie experience too?
Oh dang! At the theater?
Yeah, like I talked about like how I went to the Hunger Games. I watched Hunger Games and I was like front row and I spilled my Coke on myself. That was like my worst movie experience.
Oh damn! Wow. Oh, give me a second. I'm about to think of that one. Give me 1 sec.
I don't know. Is it bad though? I mean, you like to go watch movies like by yourself, like I do too. So is it really a bad movie experience because you don't have to deal with anyone?
I mean, I honestly sometimes I prefer to go by myself too.
Yeah.
But bad movie experience? Dang, probably Black Panther.
Really, Black Panther?
Yeah,
because a lot of people were talking, or
not just that too, and plus like I ate popcorn, so then literally like for some reason I got food poisoning from that.
oh
like literally like halfway through the movie.
Oh shit!
So yeah, like my stomach was really killing me. So yeah, so I had to pretty much hold it in, you know.
Damn, that's scary.
Yeah, but I think that was about it. But other than that, then I mean, I've been to some movies that where people are like really loud and like Ant-Man. Also Ant-Man, because like there's like a little kid that he just kept talking throughout the whole show. So I kind of got irritated, but then his dad was like kind of like he wasn't saying nothing. So yeah.
Dude, when I was working at the movie theater, like these kids whose parents have money would just give them money so they could go to the theater and fuck around and shit. So being at a concession, or not concessions, but being at the box office, I had to deal with these kids that come up with like huge bills and like ask for change. Like one kid was like, this one kid had like $50 bill on him. He's like, "Can I get change for this?" I'm like, "You're fucking kidding me, right? I'm not gonna give you $50 in singles." And so I had to do it anyway because I had enough change for it. It was just irritating. And these same kids are like like you said, they're the kids that come into movie theaters and talk and get rowdy and then like want to get kicked out and shit like that. And it makes me think too, like when I was like what 15, 16, was I that bad in movie? I was annoying, but I don't think I was that bad to the point where I wanted to get kicked out of a movie theater. That's stupid.
No.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Andrew, so we'll just continue on before we talk about Batman though. You only got the one comic book, Andrew. You didn't get, or T. I'm sorry, Andrew's. I see Andrew's name there. I'm sorry, I called my friend Andrew. Oh my god, I'm not a good friend. No, T. You only got one comic book, right? You didn't get two, or
yeah, only one comic book. I was gonna take like 3, but they won't let me.
Shit.
Yeah,
I saw some people walk out with like 2 or 3. I'm like, damn, y'all had that many?
Yeah, because I did go because like for the early fan screening, because there was like a countdown before the movie started, so it was pretty cool. And then they played like the background music for the Batman, and then there was like a countdown. And then before the countdown, I came out to go use the bathroom, and then I came back. I was about to go in, and then before I went in, there was like a table, and there was like 20 of them just sitting there, and I was gonna take like 3 of them, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Oh damn, dude, it's insane to see like superhero movies now with like Spider-Man and Batman, and then this year there's Doctor Strange this year. Like all these big movies are this year, like big moments this year. But you know what's crazy too? We were talking about this in our group chat. It's like how WB pushed back the Flash and Aquaman movies to next year.
I wanted to say something about that because I feel like that has something to do with the Snyderverse, with restoring the Snyderverse. I believe so, bro. I think so.
Because I know WB's merging with Discovery, like the Discovery Channel. They're having their own like streaming service too.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's affecting it.
I think they already went through. Like I saw,
did
I
it?
saw some. I saw some posts that they already like the money issue. They already kind of settled it already.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't keep up with that. I just knew something like that was happening, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, could be. I mean, we could see the Snyderverse come back.
Because I know that Black Adam's going. They're doing reshoots
For Black Adam.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude. It's. I don't know, man. Like Aquaman's movie, I'm okay with it. You know, Aquaman's movie was okay, but I'm gonna just rant about the Flash because I love Ezra Miller as Barry, but then his interpretation of Barry to me was more Wally, and then I just don't like that they're using him as like the Spider-Man of DC.
I agree.
Like just let him be himself. Let him be his own character. Don't cater to the youthful audience with the Flash, because that's not what Barry is. At this, like, if they did go by what like the DC comic books or the animated movies, Barry is a grown ass man. he don't need to be funny. He don't need to be like Grant Gustin's Flash with the team. This dude can do everything by himself. Like, I really want a good Flash, especially for the movies.
Let me ask you this: do you prefer the Zack Snyder Justice League outfit or his new one?
His new one's the one with like the eye cover, right?
Yeah.
Not the new one. His new one got that yellow lightning too, right? That flows through his suit. Oh, that looks pretty cool though. I actually think that's pretty cool. But I think the Zack Snyder one had potential. I know they were going for more of that Injustice look.
Yeah.
Like that armor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know why they didn't just give him armor, but I like I said, I don't like that they even made him so young in the first place. I didn't like that. I didn't like that they made him so like the youngest, or make it seem like he's the youngest member of the Justice League. I really wanted all of them to be more around like the same age group, like in the animated series or even in the comic books. But yes, I mean, I have hope, and I'm hoping that the Snyderverse happens, because I mean, like I just spoke with Victor Koo. He's that Among artist that met Zack Snyder. I spoke with him. He's on the last episode, and he talked about like how he met Jared Leto on the set, and dude, because when that episode drops, because it hasn't dropped yet today of the recording, but it'll drop sometime this weekend. When he talks about like meeting Jared Leto, and he's like, he saw the costume in person and he saw the makeup in person, and seeing that he saw the scene being shot like in person. Like, it took them almost all day just to do that 5-minute sequence of Joker like talking to Batman, but they didn't have Ben Affleck there. It was a stunt double, or like a stand-in for Batman.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's cool though. I mean, I really wanted to see that version of the Joker with like Ben Affleck's Batman.
Bro, man. I want to, yeah, that's true. I also want to see, like, because I heard like the story. Zack Snyder in an interview that he said that he explained that if the Snyderverse does continue, he's got like the story for how Joker killed Robin or
Lois Lane.
No, Robin. Yeah. How Joker killed Robin.
Oh yeah, Ben Affleck's Robin.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's Robin. Yeah. So
I
want to see that.
That was a big cliffhanger, because they teased that in Batman vs Superman and never went through with it. So that's like why? when I go back and watch these movies, I'm just like, why? Like, why is it all incomplete? It's not like there's no satisfaction, because I know that we liked the Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, stuff like that. So like I'm just like, come on, man. There was just so much potential there, and it just wasted. And like Henry Cavill was, I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. Using him, like they better use him now before he doesn't want to come back. And it's gonna be hard to find a good cast for Superman, because look how long it took them to finally cast a movie Superman. Ever since like what, Christopher Reeve, or no, Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh, yeah.
And that's only because he looked like a young Christopher Reeve. So it's tough. It's a tough one, man. Superman's a hard cast.
I actually really liked Henry Cavill's Clark Kent / Superman 2. So
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, guys.
Andrew's back.
I'm so mad. Like for some reason, my camera stopped working and then my microphone stopped working, so I used my iPad. I had to downgrade in quality.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Dude, it always happens when I podcast with you, Ricky.
It's probably just the host. You can blame it on me.
I think it's my computer. I just I'll get into it later. But sorry, what did I miss?
We got T's worst movie experiences, and then we were talking about like the Snyderverse and the possibility of it coming back, and then we were talking about the Flash, like what our thoughts on Ezra Miller's costume, and because the movies got pushed to 2023.
Oh yeah, I think I did catch on to a little bit of that before I got caught off. They're not gonna. I honestly think they're not gonna tell anybody if they aren't doing it, because if they told people that they're gonna do it, you know, they want the reaction of it being a surprise than if everyone already knew. That's what I think. It's like pro wrestling. It's like, well, why would we tell you guys? You know, we want everything to be a surprise. Things need to be. We need more surprises in this world, and if they tell us everything, dude, we're not gonna be blown away. Movie experience ain't gonna be that great.
Like, I don't know, man. I feel like people want the surprises now, because look what happened during Spider-Man, dude. Like everyone wanted Tobey and Andrew Garfield, and then when those leaks happened, everyone was like, "Screw it, we don't care about these leaks. We still we just want to see them on screen." And so when they came on screen, like when they appeared on screen, look what happened. The people went nuts for Tobey.
I think how that went was just because like. It's like we like 99% are sure they're gonna be in there. It's like, because nothing was confirmed. Everywhere it's just like nowhere was it officially stated that they'll be in there. And then when they finally do show up, it's like, even though it's only like 1% of like like hoping for it to be there, the rest just knowing that they will. I mean, just that one little push right there, that does kind of build some suspense. Just kind of like the whole it's like I knew it type of deal. I don't know. At least that's how it was for me. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. I don't know.
But yeah,
I like surprise moments. Save those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was. I blame T because of T. I had to go through. No, because you kept posting those. Yeah, you posted all the leaks in our group chat. You kept talking about it, about the Spider-Man.
I thought those were fake.
I know, but most of that shit would turn out to be true, though. Most of it
was. Yeah, I know.
Most of it turned
all
out to
that
be
was true.
And then what's different too though was I don't know if this is true. I could be wrong, but apparently the pre-screenings, like the test screenings, there were multiple different endings or different like shoots, so it confused everyone what happened, like what was going to be the actual theatrical release.
They probably did it because Tom Holland like spoiling everything, so they're not telling what the real ending is.
Because I read one where, it's Reddit, so I don't know if I don't think it's true, but I read one where they said that Tobey died, and then what's his friend Ned died.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I read one that for the ending was that instead of like having Aunt May died.
I heard a different ending too. I heard that Tobey was supposed to die, and then Eddie, his symbiote, was supposed to revive Tobey.
Dude, could you imagine having Bully Maguire in there?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Dude,
what I'm saying.
I want Bully Maguire.
Yeah.
I'm sure those are true. They just didn't know how they wanted to legit finish the movie. I'm pretty sure they shot multiple versions of everything, and once they got to the cutting room floor, they just scrapped it.
If you want to start your own podcast like Spoiler Force, then sign up with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of users like me to begin their podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, you can effectively get your podcast onto different platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view your stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout offers ideas, tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you improve your podcast. Follow the link below, and once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This will let Buzzsprout know that I sent you and will also support Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want a simpler way to record both video and audio for your podcast, then sign up with StreamYard. StreamYard is the perfect program to create podcasts, host live streams, and even do video calls. There are many tools that can help you create and design your own personal studio. You can screen share, read live comments, and stream to different destinations like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also download your video and audio once you're done with your recording session. Follow the link below, and once you sign up with the basic or pro plan, you'll earn a $10 credit to use for StreamYard. Happy podcasting. Speaking of bullies, Robert Pattinson's Batman was a fucking bully in this one. Dude, he was a bully, man. Like, he had no remorse. That first engagement scene in the beginning where he like walks up to the clowns and, you know, he beats the shit out of that guy. He's like, I'm vengeance. And dude, like, see, I love this theme of like Batman claiming to be vengeance in this year's Batman movie. And that this, because the fact that the context of this movie was like a year 2 Batman. So he's already out there and folks know who he is or know what Batman is. And so something that like I caught on was that he was barely Bruce Wayne in this movie. Mm-hmm. Most of the time he's in the suit, which it took me time to really like absorb that, like, holy shit, that's right. Like, usually we always see like a lot of Bruce Wayne scenes, like the Christian Bale ones, where I think he'll walk around as Bruce Wayne or be Bruce Wayne, and then at nighttime he's Batman. But in this one, he's practically Batman the entire movie. And so for you guys, what was your thoughts on just Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman? T, we'll start with you first.
For me, yeah. See, for me, before I go in, dude, I remember when they first announced Robert Pattinson as Batman. Dude, I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, oh my god.
You mad?
I was mad. But then, you know, I was like, whatever. Ben Affleck is always gonna be my favorite Batman, whatever. But then, damn, when they released that first teaser trailer, ooh, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Robert Pattinson. I'm sorry. Okay, I see where you're going. And then, but after watching the movie, I'm not gonna lie, man. As much as I love Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck, I think Robert Pattinson's Batman is by far the best, in my opinion. Because in this movie, because like you said, in this movie, they, you know, like they focus so much on him being Batman that this feels like a Batman movie out of all the other movies, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that too.
And plus,
it definitely had a comic book feel to it for sure.
Yeah, and plus, I like how dark he is, how brutal, and how angry, and his voice. His voice is so good.
Yeah,
like the first 10 minutes, like the way he came in and like he started narrating at the beginning of the movie. Dude, I love that.
Okay, let me.
Yeah,
I don't want to cut you off, but when he was narrating the first time, I was thinking of fucking Edward the whole time. What? It sounded like Edward to me. I was like. He didn't. I guess, like, audio wise, it didn't convince me that he was Batman or Bruce until I saw him visually, and then it changed. But just hearing him narrate, like, the whole like I'm the shadows, you know, because they fear me, it sounded like Edward.
The monologues.
Oh, man.
No, but continue. I'm sorry. Continue.
I don't know, man. To me, because his voice is like the way he does his voice, like kind of deep and like really low. I really dig that. And then for like an actor to actually like change, like, he's a British actor, so for him to like change his voice and do that takes a lot of talent. And you know, I like that a lot. So yeah.
Okay. Andrew, what about you? What's your take on Robert Pattinson's Batman?
See, unlike T, I had no doubt that he would be great. You know, because as someone who likes to film and also been around like industries where it's like, you know, you have to have a look and there's a reason why this person gets picked, and I always felt that he would have done a good job because, you know, Robert Pattinson, he's really method, so I think, you know, he could dig deeper into to Batman. And like T, I do believe he is one of the best Batmans out there. At this time in life, or in our lives, it's be really controversial just to say that, because everyone's really nostalgic and be like, Michael Keaton this and Adam West this. But honestly, I think he is the best Batman, because to me, the best Batman is the one who is always Batman. Because he is Batman 90% of the time in this movie, and in his mind, he's not Bruce Wayne ever. He's only Bruce Wayne when he needs to be Bruce Wayne. It's but yeah, honestly, this is the best. He does a really great job as Batman, and I've only seen Robert Pattinson in Harry Potter and Twilight. But regardless, I knew he was a good actor. So I mean, I don't like to stereotype people's performance off of one's franchise. So, but yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. I mean, as an actor, he is really good though. Like that one movie he did with see what? Do you remember that movie he did where they were like going back in time and shit? I forgot what that movie was called.
Tenet.
Yeah, Tenet. Yeah, that one. He was good in that one.
Dude,
So,
him and Tenet, because I watched like 3 of his movies after Batman, which is Tenet, The Lighthouse, which is so confusing, but dude, the acting was amazing. And then the movie that he did with Tom Holland.
Oh, that on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, that I watched a little bit of that one. I didn't get to watch it all.
Where you get to see Spider-Man versus Batman.
Yeah.
He actually killed that man. Yeah.
What about you, Michael? What's your take on Pattinson?
Pattinson, I like that. Honestly, I agree with both Andrew and T. I tried my hardest because I think the last movie I saw him in was Harry Potter. Because I watched Harry Potter after. I don't even think I finished Twilight. Still, I just love the I what is the saying, still better love story than Twilight or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was very curious to see how he was going to take this role. I always kind of just I liked the way he not so much character wise, but just more so just how he carries himself on film. He just always had this really certain kind of like stoic like tone to him, so to see that, I kind of like in that regard, I kind of was looking forward to it. I didn't have a lot of doubts. I was like more like eager to see how he was gonna perform, and I think he knocked it out of the park. As his role as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and kind of what Andrew said, it takes me back to a quote from Batman Begins, I think it was, when Rachel was telling Bruce that like the real mask is Bruce Wayne and the real him is Batman, and that kind of resonated with me, and kind of one of the reasons why I do like agree with Andrew in the fact that like it's this iteration of Bruce Wayne, it's less Bruce Wayne, more Batman, even though I'm saying Bruce Wayne. But I mean, I really like how it's like he's even when he is Bruce Wayne, he doesn't really feel the need to like care for his image like the way like in the other ones, where Alfred was saying like, oh, you need to like kind of disassociate yourself as much as possible with this, with Batman, by like being this billionaire playboy who is constantly with some kind of like I think he was with he was with those 2 supermodels, and he was with the the lead of the ballet
in the Dark Knight series.
In Dark Knight, yeah. But yeah, no, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say with T, the voice too, like I really do think he pulled the voice off a lot better. Sorry, I can only take so much of Christian Bale's grunting voice. It's cool.
Where's the trigger?
Yeah,
Tell me
when
where the trigger
he
is.
starts screaming with it, it just sounds really like
Got
it's
gravel in his throat.
like if he was saying that to me, I was like, "Can you repeat that for me?" Like,
Dude, Michael, we were watching. Well, we watched The Dark Knight Rises.
yeah,
Yeah, that's when he was like, "Tell me where the trigger is." And he like punches Bane. Oh my god, like that. His voice was over. Christian Bale's voice was over the top in The Dark Knight.
yeah.
Rises. But
I
the
think-
voice for that Robert Pattinson did. I was really like really excited to hear how he'd speak, because even in his interviews he said like it was like a mix of what he's heard in the previous movies, but he wanted to really make it his own. And I'm kind of glad he went like that, I guess almost gravelly type, like very like harsh voice, but it wasn't over the top though like Christian Bale, or it wasn't like Stephen Amell's Green Arrow. Like when Green Arrow season 1 and 2, he didn't have the mic on, so he was like, you have failed this city. He had to like really grunt his lines, and so they added the voice changer. And that's one thing too. Like I thought they could have went the voice changer route too, like Ben Affleck's Batman, but they didn't. And so Bruce Wayne was more like just more menacing when it came to being Batman. And just to bring it back to like I do like that in this movie when he is Bruce Wayne, it's like he's so dreadful of everything. He's just like, fuck this, dude. Like, I don't want to be here type. He seems so emo. And I was telling a friend of mine, like Bruce Wayne's an edgy teenager in this one. Like he's got the long hair, putting on the eyeliner. Like he's so emotionless, and he doesn't care what Alfred has to say to him until Alfred gets hurt. Like Bruce is very like he's turning into a monster pretty much in this movie. He's so consumed with being Batman, he's forgetting how to be a person in real life. And that's why I love like the take on this movie that Matt Reeves did, because it like you said, Michael, with the whole like you're being more Batman than Bruce Wayne. When Riddler brings that up to him too, when they have that interrogation scene, like he goes, when you put on that mask, I'm misquoting this big time. He's like, when you put on that mask, that's you. You are that monster. Like that's who you are. And I love that they call him out on that bullshit. It's like, yo, Bruce Wayne, you got issues, man. Like you are not the same no more. But I do like that with Robert Pattinson though. Like I like that he really focused on just being like a in a way detective, but he wasn't a hero yet. And that's why I like this movie too. Like Andrew and I, we talked about this, like where this movie is more of a detective story than it is him being a superhero.
Oh
yeah. It needs to be. We've had too many. We have too many superhero Batmans. We don't have too much detective Batman, and that's. I mean, it's Detective Comics. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's in the name. He's more detective than he is a superhero, in my opinion. And he didn't start becoming a superhero until he started joining in with like Superman and all those people. At least I think so. So
yeah, one thing why I really like this movie too is because he makes mistakes in this movie a lot, and he takes damages. Like the one time when he actually he fainted from the bomb.
Yeah.
And then when he escaped from the cop and he was on the roof and he was actually scared to jump. Dude, I don't know, but I really like that how they do that with Batman in this movie, because they show that he's in year 2, so he's not, fully Batman yet. And even like when he how like in the other movies like Batman would just like disappear. And then in this one he doesn't do that. No, only he did it like 2
once.
times. Once.
Yeah,
twice. He did it twice.
Twice. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
Can you imagine like they recorded like they record him like they turn around and hits him just like skipping away behind this like trying to hide.
It's a room full of cops. I'm sure someone saw them.
Well, I think the only 2 times it happens was whenever Riddler's playing the video of exposing Thomas Wayne's past, and then he announces that he's gonna attack Bruce Wayne, and he's there with Gordon, and they're in the orphanage, I think. And
Yeah.
then he turns and he's gone. And the second time it happens is when it's just one cop and him when they were in the Riddler's apartment trying to figure out the last clue. But that is kind of true what you said though. Like it realistically, like, because part of me was like wondering if it's gonna happen. Like anytime the camera, it's like the ending of a scene, you feel the scene's ending, and then the camera goes away from Batman. I'm like, okay, he's not gonna be there when the camera turns to him, but he was for the most part. So
Yeah.
What was your guys' take on just, we could talk about everyone's role, but what's your guys' take on, like, just, like, I guess we'll just kind of break down. I'll break down some of the more major characters. Like, what was your guys' take on Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle? Because for me, I thought she looked the part. Like, I really misjudged her as an actress. I wasn't a big fan of her because she was in that one movie, Divergent, with Shailene Woodley, and she was in there and she was really annoying in that movie. But yeah, I thought she did really great. Like, I really underestimated her acting skills. I loved her. Like, they gave her the, I guess you could say, the pixie cut. She looks very close to the comics. And then I was really caught off guard. I did not think that they'd twist her story to where she is Maroni's daughter. Andrew, I don't know. You can correct me. That's not in the comics, right? Like, she's not.
No, and it's Falcone.
Oh, Falcone. Yeah, Falcone's daughter. Yeah, not Maroni. So I that was new to me. I did not expect that. But this is where I guess you could say, like, some of the parts I did not like about the Batman movie either. I felt like they could have done without the romance. I think that the slight romance between, I guess the sexual tension between Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne was a bit pushed. I think for year 2 that's a bit too soon. I felt like this was great for them to meet, but I don't think that it should have been, like, put out there that, the whole bat and the cat idea.
I don't know. I feel they needed that for to be able to bring this Bruce Wayne into somewhat of a to bring some humanity in him, to show that he still can have some attachment to somebody, and somehow Selena Kyle was able to bring that to him. I mean, who else would be able to do that? Well, Alfred, he didn't even care about Alfred. So,
That's true. That's
so I was
true.
like, I think he needed someone to be able to.
That's because Bruce was
Make 'em
thinking
feel.
with his dick. That's why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm pretty sure this Bruce Wayne has never been with a woman. All right, compared to the.
He's still virgin Batman.
Probably. I mean, because you gotta think, like, since his parents died, he probably, like, this. I don't know what happened between year 2 and when his parents died, in this version. So, he left and probably got, went to go get trained and learn how to be who he is. So who knows? I mean, he's probably never been with anybody because no one's ever been able to make him feel a certain way. So I think introducing that aspect in the movie might be well. I mean, it might have been a good thing. That's just me. But with this is a different. Like, I do like this version of this Catwoman. I don't think I've seen this version of Catwoman, because this version of Catwoman isn't really a burglar. Because she's not a villain. So yeah. I think they're slowly trying to take her away from the because she in the comic, she started out as a villain. Everyone knows her as a villain, but they're trying to introduce her as someone who you can kind of feel sorry for and not be
almost. It's not exactly anti-hero, but
yeah, I was thinking that
because she had a reason for what she's doing it. She's not just stealing just because she likes to steal and she wants to be rich off it. There's a reason why she's doing all this stuff. She's trying to protect Anya, and then once she died, it's like I don't care about anything. I just want to avenge her, So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, T? What's your take on Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman?
Dude, I thought she was perfect, amazing. Because I think honestly, she was way better than Anne Hathaway.
Yeah,
way better. But I feel like her and Michelle Pfeiffer, they're like
Neck and neck, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually compare her more to Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
And plus, like, I mean, this is like the first movie only, so like, I'm pretty sure in the sequel she'll, progress and like she'll evolve more into like the real Catwoman. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the sequel to see how where her story goes.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a rumor where she might have her own spin-off show in Bloodhaven?
I heard about that.
Yeah, I heard she's going to Bloodhaven. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that after, like in the comic books wise, I know that there's one spin-off of her going to Rome after the Long Halloween. So they could probably interpret from that story. No, but I do like what he said though. Like I do like that they focused her at, or like she can still evolve too.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I didn't really consider.
yeah, I mean she's learning. She's getting out of Gotham. She probably lived in Gotham her whole life, so she's probably trying to. She's learning how to learn to be outside of Gotham. So she's learning how to live.
What about you, Michael? What's your take on Zoe Kravitz?
Well, sorry, I paused because I'm like, well, I agree with both Andrew and T on this again. Here I am, just piggybacking off of you guys. You're always saying it first, but I'll say that first. I really liked. It's really hard to really call her like Catwoman at this point because she's still just Selena. Like she doesn't really have that much of a role like that impacts Gotham as much. Like you don't really hear them, at least if I don't recall, they don't really mention her like they do Batman. Like she's kind of just like still in the shadows while he is kind of like the the main fighting force against the villains and everything. But I think she did a really good job, really good role. I was going back and watching some of the scenes and just like even just the way in her mannerisms are, they seem more akin to like how her story is. Like it's like when she's undercover in the at the club. What is it? The 44 below or something like that.
Are you talking about when she wore? When Bruce gave her the contacts?
The contacts, yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
that was a cool gadget.
That and I hope we're gonna get to to talk because like I actually have a lot to say about like just the whole like comparisons of like Batman and from film to film and like the use of like gadgets and all. But I digress. Like even from just the way she walks, the way that she like carries herself, like if I could compare it to like Anne Hathaway was more prim and proper, where Zoe Kravitz was more like rough around the edges, like really grew up in the dirty parts of Gotham,
the hood,
and you can kind of see that chip on her shoulder, and that's really what I like how she brought it. But to piggyback off of I think what I think was it Andrew that was talking about like how her chemistry with this Bruce Wayne / Batman was actually really necessary. They actually were very like yin and yang with the whole thing because I don't know if you. To me, when I saw them interact with each other, like there's a scene where I know we were going to try not to break scenes down like scene by scene, but when she was first going into that undercover, she was putting the contacts in and she was all like, aren't you like the least bit worried about me or anything like that? Like, and he just walks up to her and says, look at me. And he's looking at her eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, looks good. Put these on. It really goes to show. And there's even the scene where she's asking him like, who are you under that mask, or why do you wear that mask? She asks like something like, are you just hideously scarred? Yeah. And then he says, yeah. And that really goes to show like the dynamic between her, who's like more free spirited and more like outward with her emotions, and him, who's just like, probably really messed up in the head, and you kind of see that come out with this iteration of Bruce Wayne. So I think their chemistry was really good. And I think if you didn't have this Zoe Kravitz acting this part, these characteristics, you wouldn't really notice just how awkward Bruce is. So,
dude, he can't even talk to Alfred at times. Where Alfred's like, you got to get out and do stuff. He's like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to dress up. And like even when he goes to that was it the mayor's funeral?
Memorial, yeah,
the memorial, and then like even Alfred's like, you got to wear, what are those things called, the cuffs? Yeah, you got to wear the cuffs.
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's like, I don't want to. And then Alfred gives him his own cuffs to Bruce. Like, you got to look proper when you go to these kind of events. Like Bruce Wayne is just so withdrawn in this one. That, again, back to what we were saying. I really like that Bruce or Pattinson's performance of Bruce is like very just mellowed out. But there's just so many good actors in this movie. Like what's his name? Let me look at Colin Farrell as Penguin. That I think God. That was probably the best one for me out of all of them. I loved his take on Penguin, and dude, the fucking makeup. Dude, I hope they get an Oscar for that, because I could not even recognize Colin Farrell as Penguin. I thought he did great. Like my favorite moment with him was when they finally catch him after the car chase.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What?" It's like, "What? What do you guys want? I didn't do any of this." He's because at this time he's not even like the kingpin yet of Gotham. He's still like second in command.
He's trying to manipulate everybody.
Yeah, so I because like in Gotham, in the show Gotham, Penguin's like that too. Like before he becomes the top dog, he manipulates his way around to get to the top. And so I like that they kind of used that, but then they used Penguin, how he looks like, fat and ugly. Excuse me, to do that. I thought Colin Farrell did great. There's nothing but great things I could say about him. Like that was my favorite moment, was after the car chase.
Yeah, he's like, they're trying to tell him what do you think of this, like La Rata. He's like, what?
Oh yeah,
I think that's the worst Spanish I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That scene was so good. And then they like leave him after they take off.
He's like strapped still. Like, untie me, and they just left him there under the bridge. I thought that was good.
He kept coming back. I mean, he was even there when they arrested Falcone.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the mistake that Batman made with the
Batman read the Riddler's. Yeah, he read the message wrong. He instead of, I think it was supposed to be La Rata instead of El Rata.
Yeah, it was like URL.
Yeah. No, they said La Rata, but then he said it's El Rata.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's that.
URL. You are the bat.
So pretty much Penguin kind of corrected him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
because Penguin was correcting them on their Spanish. He's like, "That's the worst fucking Spanish I've heard." So I thought that was just funny, like, because like you tying in with Riddler, like I love how they, again, with what Matt Reeves does is like he leaves you thinking that one scene is this and it's completely the other way. Like they feed us the idea that rats with wings. They thought that clue meant penguin because is Penguin the rat? I mean, because penguins are birds, but they can't fly. And then at the same time, a bat is also a rat with wings. And so I love the fucking writing in this movie, dude. Like I love how because for me, whenever I thought something was going to happen in this movie, I was wrong. Like there's one scene where I thought that maybe damn it, I just had it in my head. But one scene, like maybe what was I gonna say? Oh shoot, I brain fart right now. My God, there's just so much going on in my head. Like, okay, I thought the Riddler would be like the son of the paparazzi guy who got killed.
Oh,
and maybe
I thought the same.
And maybe that's why like he went after the higher ups in Gotham. But nope, that's not it. He just exposed Gotham because he was an orphan and he had a personal beef with Bruce being, the prince orphan or whatever. And with that, and like, I don't know, man. Like, again, back to the whole detective comics, like detective feel or like murder mystery feel. Like, I love that this movie didn't focus on Bruce being the superhero. It's so much more down to earth, and I really appreciate that they did that.
Yeah, he's less of a hero. He's more of a I want to say slasher, but Yes, that he has some slasher horror character elements. Like every time you hear the boots, you know he's coming. Like you think about
Fucking Jason out there.
yeah, Jason
Oh,
or Michael Myers. It's like you needed something to like a scary noise to let you know that the boogeyman's coming. And Batman was the boogeyman in this movie. You know, so it's like okay, he's coming to do it. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. You know, so
and not only that, but the soundtrack too. Like it was very kind of like it was very more monotonous, and not very melodic, but it's kind of akin to like the Jaws music.
Yeah.
Like if you think back to like it's just it's like dun 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 dun.
It almost had like
dun.
Darth Vader feel.
Yeah,
I
kind
thought
of.
it
Yeah.
sounded like the Imperial
But
March.
it's that kind of like beat and tempo that's kind of like makes you you're sitting on the edge of your chair, because you're just kind of like it's very tense music. But can we backtrack a little bit, because you were talking about like how the movie kind of like leads you one way. Like I think honestly, wait, is it okay if we go there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think the sense of like what Matt Reeves did with like what I would say like misdirection with the movie. The amount of misdirection in this movie kind of like to me it plays a really big factor into like how I experienced it. And it's genius. So even from the opening scene, you can take two things from it. You remember when the guy's watching TV and then the Riddler is just standing right there behind him the whole time. It's a little thing, but it kind of lets you know certain things. Like he never turns around, and there's never a jump scare because you're expecting a jump scare, right? You're expecting him to turn around.
I jumped anyway. When
Oh,
he
you did?
attacks the guy, I jumped.
Well, I mean, it's so Hollywood that you know that they're there, and then you're waiting for the guy to turn around to face him, and I think Riddler was waiting for him to turn around and face him, and then like jump in his face, but he actually just walked off in the other direction. I think Riddler was just like, fine, I'll get you if you're not gonna see me. There was that aspect, and then also another one too, where like because it was the Riddler who was scoping them out in the very beginning of the scene. And then you see the same thing whenever Batman is watching Selena go to her apartment. So I don't know, the amount of like what this kind of does too is it lets you know that you can't really trust what you know about movies and what you might know about this Batman. Because like to me it kind of formed a sense of like distrust. And then also whenever they started talking about how like Bruce Wayne's past, I know Ricky, you and I talked about this, like how we start to think that well maybe this is like a dark twisted version of Batman where like someone who's on the good side is actually the villain.
Yeah.
It left a lot of room for like distrust. I don't know, that to me that was a very, that's what built up the suspense so much, because when they started talking about how Thomas Wayne is a bad a bad man or whatnot, that they're colluding with the
Falcone.
with or is it the Arkhams?
Yeah, the Arkhams
Yeah.
and the Waynes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how Martha is crazy.
Yeah. So this kind of led me, like it really really made me distrust like where that they're gonna make this Batman to be like all good, because coming from the Nolan films, they were like saints. Like Thomas Wayne was like a saint, did no wrong, and this was honestly like a breath of fresh air. It just got a completely new take on it all. Sorry, that was my rant with it. I think the amount of misdirection was like it was brilliant.
It keeps the audience on their toes a lot.
Yeah.
It like you said, we think we know what to expect out of this Batman film, whether you watch the Batman movies, whether you read the comics. At the end of this movie, it's still like the director's take on Batman, which I like that that they stuck with the more of the realism of Batman. But to go on though, what was your guys' thoughts on the relationship between Batman and Gordon in this one? Because the actor for Gordon, what's his name? Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey
I think that's
Wright.
his name.
Jeffrey Wright.
He was his take on Gordon was very different than what I thought it'd be.
Mhm.
He was like almost super cop in a way. Like he was so like he was still like the really good cop in this movie, but then he still trusts Batman, but then he doesn't know what to do because he wants the cops to work with Batman, and then the whole Gotham police force is like, no, this guy's a vigilante and whatnot. So what was your guys' take on Jim Gordon and Batman in this one? T, we'll start with you on your thoughts on it.
Like I said, I think this one, even though it's just like the first movie, I feel like they had the best chemistry out of like all the Gordons and Batman we had, because this movie, it feels like they were partners, like partner in crime. So, and plus, like the way that we see them like solve mysteries together, like we don't really see that in the Nolan film. So that's just what I think, and I do like Jeffrey Wright too. I think he was a good actor, and yeah, I think he's. I like him and Gary. Is it Gary Oldman?
Yeah, Gary Oldman.
Yeah. I like Gary Oldman's his Gordon too, but for these two, I feel like they're, for me just personally, I think they're neck to neck. But if you talk about chemistry wise, I think this movie they have the best chemistry of any other Batman. That's just my opinion though. But yeah.
Andrew, your thoughts on the Bruce and Gordon?
I thought they had a good relationship. Gordon's still trying to learn if he can fully trust him. I mean, he trusts him. I think more than he trusts some of the cops there. But I don't really have too much to say about it because I don't really know how to explain the relationship as well. This Gordon just kind of reminds me of like the those like the 80s cops films with the
oh yeah
like the way he talks. It's really Noir like. So I was like, okay, like it's not like, I don't know. It's just to me, it just doesn't sound like.
Oh man, that's a great. I'm sorry. That's a great point you brought up. The whole noir aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that is true. Now that you say that, like, oh, my mind blown. Like Gordon does have that very noir feel.
He just sounds like your typical black 80s cop. Like the who's the guy from Lethal Weapon?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Donald
I know
Glover.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's his name? Like, we got to give him his name.
Isn't it Donald Glover?
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Donald.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
The way he talks kind of reminded me of like their era of cop films back in the day, which was cool. I like the relationship, and I love it how like, I think, like I said, he trusts Batman more than he trusts the cops after Batman kind of exposed like a lot of dirty cops.
Mhm.
And it's like he needs to let Batman go, like in the police station where he let Batman
Or Danny
go.
Glover. I'm sorry, it's
Danny
Danny.
Glover. Daniel Glover.
Yeah,
Donald
Donald
Glover
Glover.
is,
I'm thinking, dang it.
Donald
I'm
Glover
gonna
is
get. Don't at me. Don't at me, please.
Yeah. But yeah, like, just him having Batman punch him shows you how much trust he has in Batman. So
That was a good scene, though.
yeah, it's like
That was
it's like the way they're like talking to each other. He's like, they're really playing it out. Like, I'm gonna talk to you like I'm saying some junk to you, but really I'm just giving you the plan. I'm all up in your face, but just act like I'm just doing something, and then punch me.
And then take that door to your left.
I can't do that, dude. If I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you like like normally. If I'm gonna tell you how to do stuff, I'm gonna instruct you like my body language can't match. My language has to match what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
I can't multitask and be like, okay, I gotta fake my body language and tell you exactly what I really mean. I can't do that. Like I can't like remember in Death Note, the anime, where they're writing in the notepads to secret messages, but they're talking like what they're not writing. I can't do that. I was like, if I'm gonna talk and write, I'm writing what I'm saying. So I was like, I can't do that. So
No,
yeah,
I wanted
good,
to. I wanted to touch up on like that scene though, when they're staring at each other and like telling each other the plan, because they're in the interrogation, so the cops are trying to listen to what they're saying. They're like really whispering, like, "You gotta hit me, just swing at me. And then like even Robert Pattinson's like when he's like standing over like fisted, and he just like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it. Then he just like socks him in the face. I just like, oh man, it was just very clever. I
like,
just
you didn't need to do it that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the scene after. Like he was like, "You could have pulled your punches. You could have pulled your punch." He was like, "I did."
You know what's?
Go ahead, Andrew.
You know what's funny is when Selena Kyle's trying to like use the bat signal and they both arrived at the same time. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that where like I don't think I've ever seen Batman just pull up like that. Like in any version of Batman, like he just pulls up like normal, like how I would pull up to meet you up at some convention, Like,
it's like, I thought you put it up. No, I thought you put it up. Yeah. They're like, they don't know who turned on the bat signal. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was to me. That was just different. That felt off to me. Like it was different. Like he's human too. He pulls up like any other person.
But going back to that, but Matt Reeves did say that he wanted to keep this as grounded as possible. So I mean, realistically, that would be how the scene would go, in my opinion. Like just realistically. So
yeah, like no, I 100% agree with you on that because I just get like the whole feel of this movie was more like less like. More realistic, like like if you think about it, like Batman didn't use any like special gadgets or anything. He had a grappling hook and he had little shock fists, and he didn't even have like the cape that
where he didn't even throw batarangs in this movie.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't throw any batarangs.
Barely threw it.
Yeah.
And then he used a wing. He used a wingsuit versus an actual like a cape that forms to a shape when electric charges pass through it. It's not it's not very high tech. Even the Batmobile too. It's just like it looks like a car that was yeah.
This car was a fucking Charger, dude. With a big old jet engine in the back.
Yeah, I mean, but like again, it really adds to the whole feel of it. Like it's like a homebrew Batman. Like it's like not one that was like funded and military research or developed. It's just him in his Batcave, just making everything himself. And I honestly really think it fits a lot with how Andrew said. He said the word like noir, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant by it? Yeah, because the whole movie just like has this noir feel to it, just by the tone, the direction, even all like the cityscape and everything, like just the what am I trying to say? The setting. It feels really noir to me. So I think that part.
Sorry. I was gonna go ahead, finish your thing.
Oh no, I was gonna say that part fits really well in like the noir stuff, because it wouldn't really make sense if it was like a noir and then he had like some kind of like jet, like the Batwing. It's just that doesn't really fit. Like it's like the Cowboys and Aliens is like, what the heck? How these two mix? But yeah.
Do you guys think they're gonna release a noir, like black and white version of this movie, just like how they did with Justice League?
No.
They did that with Logan too.
Yeah, Logan was pretty cool.
I think this one will work really well as a black and white compared to like how the other movies were black and white. To me, I feel like this film felt like a Frank Miller, like Sin City type film. Like it would go well. That the theme would go well.
So explain to me what the whole black and white thing is. I don't really. Do they just like change the whole tone of it, or just the color?
I mean, I think that the colors like change the tone of the movie. That color does everything. That's why I mean, if you look at how the movie was color graded, it's color graded red. I mean,
red,
it gives you a certain mood feel. So usually the black and white thing is like dark and gritty. So I think it would fit, especially the way that they did this film.
I don't know if I can watch it in black and white.
I don't think I would really watch it in black and white, but like I mean, if it's out, I if it's there and I have nothing to do, I probably play it in the background. But I mean, the last black and white film that I watched and was Sensei, just because we had no choice but to watch it in black and white.
The last movie I
think
watched
it
in
would
black and
do.
white. Oh, go ahead.
And I think it would. Maybe I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that too because like Andrew said, the use of red in this movie, it's like very like in your face. Like now I don't know if it would work with some of the. Can we talk about the cinematographer Greg Fraser? I just learned this today, but he used the same cinematographer for Dune, Mandalorian, and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why, like, to me, like some of the shots were like really long, but very like artistic. You know, like when he was holding up the red flare, getting all those people out from under the wreckage. Number one, that was really great scene, and among many. Number two, I don't think that scene would work really well if you didn't have the color red in there. So
That's
to bring
true.
it back around,
Yeah.
it would be a pretty interesting take though to see it in black and white because
Yeah.
it fits the mood of the whole movie.
Yeah, like they did that with other movies, which I just didn't think it fit. Like they did it with the Snyder Cut. I couldn't watch it in black and white.
You know, so to continue on, I wanted to talk about Paul Dano's Riddler because this is going to be a big chunk of this episode, or at least I think it is. Because this is a Riddler that is not goofy. He is. I was joking about this with Michael. I was like, dude, they gave the Riddler school shooter vibes. Like,
They did.
I think that's what's. I think it
thought
fits. It
yeah,
fits.
like he had like school shooter vibes, like because he was weird, like even the way how Paul Dano spoke and acted was very weird, and it wasn't like funny weird. It was in a way creepy, and especially like he leaves them all these clues on, and he does the videos online, and then the scene in the diner when he literally sat there and was like slouching over waiting to get caught, and that interrogation scene again when he talks to Bruce, and like he's just like, oh my god, this plan worked, I get to meet you. He was just, man, I don't know, Paul Dano did really good. Like I didn't even recognize Paul Dano as an actor. He did well as Edward. I don't know, they didn't name him Nigma in this, right? They just call him Edward something.
There was a couple. I think one of the clues said something about chemical. Like if you want to know who I am, then something. I think it mentioned some kind of chemical, Nigma. But then they never really, when they ID'd him, they had two IDs. One that actually did say Edward. I forgot what the other one said, but nothing. Like
there was no Nigma though. Not like
no
like
Nigma.
comic books. Yeah.
But I honestly, he's an orphan, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't really have and like know who his parents are, and so he probably doesn't know his surname. So I think Nigma might be something he adopts later on.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Edward is his name. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah.
But I did like how they were teasing. Like I was not hoping, but I was thinking like, what if they switch who the Riddler was? Because I thought they were okay. They're gonna reveal that he's actually Thomas Elliot. Hush, because this. I mean, the whole. I mean, they hinted Hush, or they hinted Thomas Elliot's father, the reporter that
the one that got killed. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, what if the Riddler isn't Edward Nigma? What if he is Thomas Elliot? Just like how they did it with the animated Hush film, which wasn't really that good either. But they switched it. What if they switched to this one, where Riddler was Hush in that movie, but in this movie, the Riddler is Thomas Elliot.
Dude, that'd be such a good fucking twist, man. Oh my god.
He did wear the thing, so like the mask. So I thought, okay, that would have been unique, So
see, like the whole time though, I thought that he was like I was, because when they're exposing what the higher ups did, or what the rich folks did in Gotham, like how Thomas Wayne went to Falcone and was like, take this guy out for me, please.
Mhm.
And Falcone, instead of scaring him, Falcone killed him. So I thought that this was going to lead up to like that reporter left a kid behind, or he left someone behind, and they're coming back for revenge because they know the sickness, and they know that how corrupt Gotham really is, even if Thomas Wayne and Martha are quote unquote good people. But that wasn't the case. But I mean, I still liked that in this variation of the Riddler, he talks about, like, we as an orphans, we got left behind because everyone catered to Bruce Wayne, the real orphan, even though he had a big old house and a man, money and all that stuff, and everyone worried about him, but for us, no one cared about us. And so it kind of gives you some sort of sympathy towards this version of Riddler. But like I said, though, he is just creepy as fuck in this one.
Yeah, like you said, that the whole shooter vibe. I mean, if most shooters that are arrested today do have similar tendencies or like mindsets, like the world's this way, and everyone needs to go with me type of mindset.
Yeah.
I also like how he was kind of a nobody. I mean, it's weird, it's bad to say, but he was nobody, right? Like
he looked so innocent, right?
Yeah, it wasn't
just, like,
someone that
innocent
you've
guy.
seen earlier. It's just some dude who you they don't reveal until later on, and
T, what was your thoughts on Riddler?
Damn, like he's like, yeah, like you said, he's like, well, to me, I think Jim Carrey was the best. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, really, Paul Dano, I think he killed it. He crushed it as Riddler. But yeah, like you said, his version of Riddler would work with this grounded Batman because of how realistic it is. So I think Paul Dano, he killed it as Riddler, and yeah, I mean, I don't really have much. I mean, for me, like, I don't like to compare like villains, but like for me, I think he did great. But then, if you're talking about like, well, if I'm just comparing like this to like best villains, I still think Heath Ledger's the best. But yeah, I mean, I liked it, and plus, like, I like how you guys watched all the trailers, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because you know how in the trailers they gave off that like he knew that Batman was Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then during the interrogation, that scene, they twisted that he actually doesn't know. So that caught me off guard. I was like, oh, so Riddler don't know that Batman was Bruce Wayne, because the whole scene, you noticed that Batman was like, he was backing off a little bit because he was looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So that caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay. So after he said that, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne, I guess we didn't get him. We didn't get him. And then that's when Batman was like, oh yeah, so he doesn't know who I am. So then that's when he got aggressive. Yeah. So
no, but that is a good twist though. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't really catch that.
Neither, yeah.
Yeah, I was, when I was watching that, I was kind of confused because even after like watching other people's reviews on the Batman, I'm like, wait, so he doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne?
yeah.
Like, I like that he, like it. I guess for Riddler, it makes sense that he'd go after Bruce as his next victim. But like T said, I didn't know that. Like this whole time, I'm thinking like he knew Bruce's identity,
Right.
or he knew that he was Batman. But I wasn't expecting for him to not know.
Yeah,
because he's writing all these notes to the Batman.
Because he had he had all the notes on the wall,
Bruce Wayne
and
to know.
He was suspicious, but he never really like flat out said, "Oh, I think Bruce Wayne's Batman." But like he said in the interrogation, where he just like, I didn't get him.
Yeah, because before the interrogation scene, like they were at Riddler's apartment, and then Bruce was looking at the wall, and he was like deciphering all the codes, and he was looking at all the riddles or the writing on the wall, and it was like, I know the real you. And and all that, and then Batman was like, "Oh yeah, maybe this is all coming to an end." Like the Batman, and then after that was the interrogation scene. So,
But just to make this full circle, it shows you that in this Batman movie how he's so much Batman that he really thought like Riddler knew who he was. Like,
Yeah.
Like he thinks like, oh shit, he's gonna find out I'm Batman. He doesn't even care if he knows that he doesn't even care about the Bruce Wayne part of him. He cares more about his Batman part.
yeah.
And I really like that. Like again, I've said it before. This Bruce Wayne is obsessed with wearing that mask, and like I don't know if it was in a movie. I know Michael, you quoted Rachel Dawes, but then like I forgot where I heard it, but there was like, Bruce Wayne is the mask, and Batman is the real him. Like when he's out as Bruce Wayne, he's not himself no more. And like even like some videos that do like the psychology of Bruce Wayne, where they're like at the end Bruce Wayne was never the same. He never grew up. He was always that 8-year-old kid in the alley. He never became an adult. He became the Batman, and that's why he's like so mentally fucked up when it comes to like trusting people or working together with people. So I like that
contingency plan for all the other superheroes.
Yeah. No, like I like that how the Riddler said that too. Like when you wear that mask, you're free, or you get to do what you want. Just like how when I wear my mask, I can do whatever I want and feel free. And I like that comparison. Like it showed Bruce like, yo, I'm not inspiring people to be good. I'm inspiring people to be fucking crazy.
It's kind of like it's funny how like a lot of villains try to like expose that part of Batman, like as in like it's he's not too different than all the villains. Joker did the same thing. Heath Ledger, he tried to show that he tried to bring out the dark side of Batman. He wants Batman to kill him, but he doesn't. And the same thing with the Riddler. And here he's trying to like explain that like we're the same, you and me. He tries to get Batman on his side when they're in that interrogation room. But if I can give my take on the Riddler, because I think what T said, because about like you try not to compare him to other villains, but I think like the gravity that Riddler brings to this movie is on the level of the Joker in the Dark Knight series. Very cynical and sadistic in the way that he like performs, and the amount of fear that he brings. I mean, I feel like they probably kind of took a few elements of the Dark Knight when when Joker was on film.
You can see that this movie has like bits and pieces of like
Right,
the other
yeah,
movies and the comic books. Like there's a little bit of everything to it. But yeah.
But because we were leaving the movie theater, Ricky, and I was like trying to figure out what other movie I've seen Paul Dano in, and I just realized that it's The Girl Next Door.
The girl that was like the adult star, and
yeah.
Wait, he's that kid?
He's not the main kid. He's one of his friends.
The friends?
Oh.
Yeah, one of the geeky friends. It was just like when I saw that, I was like, why is it so hard for me to take this guy seriously? Because I know I've seen him in some kind of like rom-com. But yeah, no, it's that because I guess that was the only other movie that I've seen him in. I know he's played in a bunch of other movies, but I just had to put that out there. It's like it's so weird. But no, I think he did a great job though altogether.
In the Batman, there's so many villains in this movie, and like the whole cat and mouse game that the Riddler does, it makes you kind of forget, or at least for me, I kind of forgot that the Riddler was around because there was so much going on too. Not only was the Riddler like terrorizing Gotham and threatening to flood Gotham and stuff like that, and have his field of assassins or school shooters with him, there was still all of that. There was still all of the corruptness of Gotham, like when it came to the money, the gangs, Falcone stuff, how much Falcone owned the city. Like he got the cops under him, judges under him, whoever. And then, and there's Bruce's issues. And then, I want to kind of just go back a little bit, like where even Alfred, got affected by it, you know. And I think that when Paul Dano's Riddler sending that bomb out to Batman, you know, because I like I said earlier, like the Riddler compares himself to Batman because like he's free like that. And then when the scene when what Alfred gets in the hospital before the interrogation scene, right? Or was it after?
It was before.
Before. It was before.
Okay, because there's a part in that scene where Robert Pattinson's like, you know, he talks about like I don't want to go through losing someone I care about.
Dude, that was such a good scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie. The hospital scene,
Because it showed, you know, Andrew brings up the humanity that Selena Kyle gives Bruce, you know, when it comes to romance or being human again. But what Alfred does for Bruce is like, it's like a home feeling. It's home. That's all he has left.
Yeah.
Like even when they ask him like who's his next of kin, and he's like, oh, it's me. It's only me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like it takes a moment for him to realize what's important to him. He has to live through almost losing something to realize, oh shoot, you are my dad.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he, you know, even in this movie, you can see like he's not like a douche to Alfred, but he, like, you know, his response to Alfred, he doesn't really take in what Alfred is trying to say to him. Alfred's like, you know, trying to tell him like, you need to chill out. You know, you need to take a step back and rethink things.
He's a
It's
teenager.
kind of like you said with the whole like, the teenager like rebelling. It's like I don't want to go to dinner. I don't want to come downstairs.
But you know that scene though, I felt like that hit the switch for Batman. You know, when he went from vigilante to hero. And you know, in this whole movie, he's saying that he's vengeance. Even Selena Kyle calls him vengeance. And the whole "I'm vengeance" term, I love that like the whole "I'm vengeance" stands out in this movie because he never says "I'm Batman." He says "I'm vengeance." Like I'm here to seek out and to hurt people or hurt bad people, hurt people who I think are bad. And you know, Michael, you brought up the part where the cinematography where he's leading the people out under the water. I thought that scene was fucking beautiful because it just shows you he's like, it's almost like a Superman-esque scene. He's giving hope to people because like even the mayor was scared of him when he reached out to get the mayor's hand or the lady's hand, and she's like, she kind of backed off, and then the kid grabbed his hand. You know, like that gave me like a lot of Superman vibes.
Yeah, it was a moment of, hey, you don't need to be afraid of me, even though my idea was for you all to be afraid of me, but you don't have to be afraid of me. They have to be afraid of me.
Shit, speaking of that scene, the scene when he was carrying the girl to the chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was such a good scene. Because the girl was like, when he laid the girl down and then the girl reached her hand up to him. I was like, oh man. That's when Bruce realized that, damn, what I'm doing is wrong. Like, vengeance. Like, what I'm doing is vengeance, like, shoot. Like, he's not. That's when he realized that he needs to give. He's like the symbol of hope that he needs to give to the people instead of like just like beating the shit out of the criminals.
That's where he starts. That's where I'm Batman comes in. It's like, well, vengeance to other people might mean something else, but when I say I'm Batman, I have my own. There's its own meaning to it. Yeah.
No, I think you said it really well, Ricky. Like, it's kind of, it was there, but like you kind of just put it into words. Just the character development of Batman Bruce. I don't know what to call him in here because like he's more Batman than Bruce, but it's the character development. Yeah, the Batman. But yeah, his development and the way that kind of like the lines between who he is and who he realizes he needs to be shatters once Alfred is hospitalized, you know, and then he starts to realize that that's you hit it on point with that. I agree 100%. So
it's just to bring it back. It like that's why I like when Riddler challenged him, you know, like on his ethics, like you know, Batman realizes, oh shit, you know, I'm not inspiring good people. I'm inspiring fucked up people. Like they want to come out and do what their vengeance is, you know. And that theme, that's what this is why I love this movie. Like it's not, is it perfect? No, but this is why I love this movie because it hits points that you don't need to always be the superhero to have a good movie. Like you can have the themes of the characters, but what Bruce realizes that when he's inspiring villains, like that part hit home for me. Like this is why, and I think I talked about this on my last episode of my last guest. This is why like I love Batman. You know, I love this lore of Batman because everyone's just so like everyone who assumes what Batman is, like, you know, the whole prep time and like, oh, he has a plan for everyone. Yeah, that's when he's like fighting other supernatural beings and heroes. But when it comes down to it, when it's just him, this is why I like really appreciate the story of what the lore for Batman does, and it's very humanistic, and you know, I really like that when he like when Bruce was watching the Riddler's videotapes, or like that projection of like the corruptness of like the Waynes, going to the Falcons. Like even he went up to Alfred. He's like, why didn't you tell me this? Why did you tell me like my dad, who I thought was good this whole time, was like talking to the mob leader? Like, what the hell is this? You know, and I like that Alfred's like, well, you know, I just didn't want to tell you because it's gonna ruin your whole perception of things. Like even Alfred fucked up too.
Yeah. The thing about this movie, when it comes to like something like that, it didn't really surprise. They did that in the Telltale game. I don't know if you ever played those. Yeah, they actually did it to where, oh yeah, Thomas Wayne is actually not that great. I don't remember what the outcome was. It's been so long since I played that game.
I like that in the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. How Thomas Wayne's a fucking dick in that one.
Yeah, I feel like they're really changing the origin of Thomas Wayne and like a lot of different Batmans. Like if you look at Flashpoint Batman, I mean, the way that he's being carried in that, he's a dick. And then, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, he's a dick. This one and the video game, the one I just mentioned, he's mysterious. I don't say he's a dick, but it's like he's hiding something, you know, like damn, they're changing the origin of Batman's like parents, you know.
Well, okay, so since we're on this topic though, do you guys like that idea that the Waynes are not what we think they are? Like I always say this joke to my friends. I think Michael, I told you this. Like the Waynes, you know, they come from old money. You know, like slave money. They own slaves. They are the Americans that had slaves and stole people's lands and shit like that. I think Andrew, what comic book did we read? Was it White Knight, right? Was it White Knight that they went back and Bruce like learned the origins of his family? Or was it another one? It was
I don't think we
no,
had
that's
that
not White
conversation.
Knight. No,
White Knight was when Joker took pills and he became sane.
Okay. No. Let me look this up really quick. It's bugging me now because I have this series at home.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
hold on. Let me look at. Let me look at this. It's like right at the. Oh my god, what is it? I have the books at home. I bought them at Liberty Comics. I remember it's like a mini series.
Was it Damned?
It wasn't Batman Damned.
I didn't finish that. T, don't you know you read too, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a lot, but I just too much to read, man. I mean, I read a lot of the Flash, but not the Batman.
Yeah, I think as we're talking on the topic of, I think there's a theory that maybe it might be how they bring up the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I feel like that might be the sequel, bro.
Yeah. You guys go on and continue with that topic while I'm looking up.
I would love to see that iteration.
Yeah, it's like somehow the Waynes were a part of the Court of Owls, but I'm pretty sure they might change a little bit of the Court of Owls, because you're talking about a secret society that actually rules Gotham, you know.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure Thomas Wayne had something to do with it. There's other reasons on how there's other reasons on why he wanted to hide Martha's
mental
mental
illnesses.
yeah. issues. Like there's got to be a lot of other stuff that gets in it. Maybe she wasn't mental. Maybe she caught on and had to keep Martha away from the secrets of what Thomas really is. Corval. I don't know.
I always fantasize with that kind of aspect though, because like again coming off of the Nolan films, Thomas Wayne was some kind of like messiah to the city and everything like that, but it's just like in the real world rarely is there anyone like that perfect. A lot of other, I can't name off the top of my head per title, but like a lot of movies do kind of do that too, where it's just like they're all good, but then they have like I mean, I guess you could say even like Harvey Dent was kind of like that too. Like apparently he was in the Nolan films. They talk about how he was like they used to call him Two-Face or whatnot. Like everyone's got their like skeletons in their closets, And I really like to see that come to light. And this is kind of the one that like breaks the mold of like what we know film wise as Batman and his parents and all. So I think that would be really I like that idea.
Or maybe there's maybe there's a reason why Falcone wanted to have something to blackmail Thomas for, because maybe he was in the Court Owls, maybe he was the leader of the Court Owls, and when all this Martha stuff happened, he asked Falcone to maybe Falcone persuaded him into letting him do something, and he needed something to gain up on Thomas Wayne to be able to.
Yeah, no, I mean that doesn't sound far fetched at all. It's just like that sounds like something a mob boss would do, like get you indebted to me, so that I can have you, under me. And it seems very mob boss-esque. Yeah.
But I don't mind seeing that version, like the whole idea that the Waynes are the Court of Owls. Like it's DC. Like we're talking about the Elseworlds. I'm pretty sure we're used to seeing different versions of everybody by now. Like when you look at Earth 2, you also look at Flashpoint. Like everyone has a different take, a different world, everything. Seeing a different version of Batman. I think after reading Batman for so long and seeing all the same plot twists, it doesn't surprise me. Like with this movie, Falcone being the Rat doesn't surprise me. The only thing that surprised me was, oh yeah, Falcone's my father. Like, I was like, okay, that's surprising. Riddler blowing up the stuff. That happens in a lot of stories. I mean, it even happened in Batman Begins. A lot of the stuff really wasn't too big of a surprise, because it's like, all right, this happened before. All this reveals, like, okay, I'm not surprised, but it's good to see.
Yeah.
Can we talk about maybe I was the only one, but I actually started to kind of like, it'd be a pretty dark twist on it, but like in the beginning of the movie, they talk about where Bruce has to like document all of his experiences. Like he records it all, and then he's writing the journals because he writes them so he won't forget. I guess because they do that to emphasize that he's adapting to his becoming nocturnal, and just of this becoming such a labor's grind for him. I started just to wonder, like, that like I told her on with the idea that like, what if Batman was the Riddler, like an alter ego or something like that, and that there was like a different side of him that he's unaware of that's doing all of this, that he just wasn't documenting because it just shows that he's losing his grip on reality. I kind of romanticize about that kind of potential outcome of the movie too.
Yeah, Mark Bernard was like, well, what if he caught what Martha had? Because Martha
going crazy like that.
So
at the end, Batman's the villain.
I was wondering, like, that'd be really crazy, but it'd be a really interesting but good take on it, I think.
Did you guys like that? He started off like that, like just being so upset at everything. They don't even like touch up on the fact that, like, I like that they don't touch up on his parents' death.
Yeah.
but that's such a big play in what he does to everyone. I don't know, Andrew, was it a comic book where he gets exposed for doing that? Like, you lost your parents and then you're going around beating up other kids' parents and shit like that. I don't know if that was a comic book, but like
I mean,
someone,
it's like the joke. I mean, I think
Yeah.
maybe the White Knight. I don't know. I think we read so many of it. It's like it's all ingrained in us that even all the jokes are getting to us too.
so there's
the
one
joke-
joke where
Is it the one where how Bruce Wayne stays rich?
yeah,
Because like he beats up criminals. Where do the criminals go? To the hospital. Who do they have to pay? The hospital. Who owns the hospital? Bruce Wayne.
Can I ask you guys something?
Yeah,
All right. What do you guys think about Gotham City in this movie?
I like that it stayed eerie this whole time.
Just
Yeah.
Gotham City itself. But what do
Yeah.
you guys think about it? 'Cause
Like there
to
was
me-
no color changes in this movie up until the end.
yeah,
Like
that's
it was
true.
it was dark, like
Mhm.
depressing, and very gloomy. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like gloomy with no rain.
Yeah, to me, this is like the best Gotham that I've seen since like the Michael Keaton movie.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
I'd say the same. Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
merge. It's like a mix between The Dark Knight and Michael Keaton's Gotham. Like you did see like the corruptness, and then like you saw like Michael Keaton's the Gotham. It's like it had a weird like it had like a feel to it.
Tim Burton. Yeah. So.
Like a Tim Burton feel to it.
Yeah.
I think with Matt Reeves' version, it's like a little bit of touch of it, but then also because it's grounded, like that's where the Dark Knight aspect comes of it. Like in the coloring, kind of
Yeah.
it's almost inspired by Tim Burton's version, but just less purple because Tim Burton's like it's really purplish.
Yeah,
I would say then. I'd
Halloween
also say along with the I guess the poverty level too, because I mean I think they maybe it's very like overlooked in the Tim Burton films, but then it's very emphasized in the Nolan Batmans, and this is like a good balance of the two.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
yeah.
go ahead, Andrew. Finish your
I
thought.
think this movie really did a good job. To me, like I did feel like I was reading a Batman comic or an arc. Also, I felt like I was binge watching like the whole entire series. That's how long it was. But like because you were talking about how it kind of jumped around, you thought it ended. But then if you think about the Batman stories, like Batman, like any Batman stories in general, like he's doing multiple things at once. He's
Mhm.
solving for one crime, but yet that crime leads him into like a side quest. But it all comes back around. So like, okay, yeah, I mean, it was like the comics, like okay, he's after the Riddler, but the Riddler's also causing this stuff to happen, which is exposing this. So now Batman has to take care of this, but yet, oh yeah, I forgot the Riddler's here.
It's like, oh yeah, main story quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really comic bookly because it does happen a lot.
Yeah, because I asked that about Gotham City because like when I look at the Nolan movie, like Gotham is just like going downtown in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have the Gotham vibe at all. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
I feel like you're just downtown. So that's why I asked.
Like-
it's very steady. Like
Yeah,
Like honestly, like the vibes that I get from it too. I actually wrote it down because it kind of stood out to me. Is it's like somehow feels nostalgic, right? Like I don't know, is it just me? Because like it feels maybe because it is because I grew up on the Michael Keaton's Batman. I watched that as a kid like more times I can count. But it somehow captures that like that noir-esque nostalgic old crime like movie type of vibe. And even the there's a scene where like Batman's on his motorcycle and they're playing like 90s 2000 styles like alt rock music, and it's just like it feels like a movie out of its time, but it's still really relevant. So
before we wrap things up here, I do have like one or two more topics I wanted to touch up on. The end, right, where Paul Dano's Riddler is in Arkham Asylum, and the person next door to him Do you think that was the Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because you could see a little bit of the face, like his smile. But at the same time, there's also people who's saying that it could be Two-Face.
That's what I thought.
But the fact that he brought out clowns,
Yeah.
it had to be. And plus, like I said, it's they wouldn't have done that scene if it wasn't the Joker. Anyone else, no one cares. Because remember, it's Batman. There's no Batman without Joker. There's no Joker without Batman. So they had to make some kind of tease for it. So I think it was the Joker.
I
yeah,
agree too.
I think Matt Reeves already kind of confirmed it.
Yeah.
So.
And like when I was listening to like Kevin Smith's podcast with Mark Bernard, like they mentioned like I would love to not see it happen fully in the next movie, but it needs to be a build up to that moment. Like Joker can be there, but he shouldn't be like the main villain of the next movie. Like he should be like the
final boss.
The final boss. Like maybe like the villain of the whole franchise, but not the main movie of the next movie. Like if to end it, it has to be him, just like Thanos.
Yeah.
Like Thanos is the whole villain of
Dude, can you imagine 10 years of Batman and then Joker's the final boss like Thanos? Holy shit.
Dude, but speaking of that, this is what I like about Matt Reeves, because I feel like he's building his own universe.
Yeah.
So it's Batman universe. So that would be nice though, like how they build up like the Marvel universe.
Yeah. It's a trilogy. It's like you get to Joker always getting away. We need to see that. We haven't seen Joker getting away. We always see Joker getting caught, or in Michael Keaton's case, dead.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen a live version of him just being there. Well,
like true to the comics, where he's just like a recurring, but he is like the arch nemesis of Batman, like Andrew said. But like to see him like kind of recurring, I agree with that too. That's actually a good point.
The only time you've ever seen him reoccur was Justice League Snyder Cut end credits scene, which may or may not be canon at this point.
Yeah. Wait, let me ask you guys this. Speaking of villains, if they do a trilogy, who are the villains that you guys want to see in the?
That was actually my next question.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No, but that was my next question. Like, who would you guys like to see?
I know who I want to see.
Right. So they're grounding this. From what I heard, Matt Reeves is playing around the idea of a grounded Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Freeze was one I think they could redeem.
Yeah.
After the whole Arnold fiasco.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It wasn't Arnold's fault, but I mean, he was getting paid.
Get to the chopper, Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see a better version of Mr. Freeze. I think when the show Gotham did it, it was better than anything at this point better than Arnold Schwarzenegger's Batman, Mr. Freeze. But I think Matt Reeves is playing around with the idea of Mr. Freeze in this universe. I don't know who else. I mean, I don't. If this is gonna be a grounded universe, I mean, I would have loved to see Clayface at one point, but this one Clayface will work here.
Yeah, not in grounded. Yeah, I would have loved to see Clayface on the big screen too.
Yeah.
You know who I want to see? I would love to see Mr. Freeze first, and then if possible, I want to see a Deathstroke. Like Deathstroke against because you know how we didn't get the Ben Affleck versus Deathstroke.
Yeah.
So I want to see how Matt Reeves would do a grounded version of Batman and Deathstroke. That's just me though.
I think if they do Deathstroke, he's definitely more like he'll be more of a hitman than like an assassin or like a super assassin. He'd probably put like you know how like in The Dark Knight Rises how Bane challenged Batman physically.
Yeah.
I think Matt Reeves, if they incorporate Deathstroke, that would be the challenge to Robert Pattinson. Is someone like Deathstroke.
Yeah, or they could do a Ra's al Ghul again. I mean, what's his name? Liam Neeson did a good job, but I would like to see a legit Ra's al Ghul, not like
Middle Eastern Ra's al Ghul. Yeah,
actually Ra's al Ghul. I mean, just like how they did in Arrow, but I want to see, a better.
Well, I mean,
one.
if there's still the talks like you guys talked about the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
That's another
That one would
big
be really good.
crime lords or group of people of villains I like to see too.
What was
I
the?
think another good one too would be the Toy Maker.
Ooh.
I think because I think that would fit the tone really well because it's not some super powered or anything. He does use like toys and as
toys
like
that blows up.
yeah. I think that would be really good. I think it would fit the tone.
And
Yeah.
just Condiment Man with the fucking ketchup and mustard gun.
Watch them make Kite Man a legit
Yo, if they
villain.
make Kite Man a legit villain, dude. I don't know, man. Kite Man's been getting some traction though, man. Especially
Yeah,
after that
he's starting to
Harley-
be popular now.
that
Yeah,
HBO Harley Quinn. Kite Man would be like a legit nice villain.
I mean, he had a moment in Peacemaker. If you guys watched that,
Dude, Peacemaker is freaking awesome, dude.
it was good. It was so
Man.
good. It was like, oh, Peacemaker caught Kite Man.
Okay, and last question before we wrap things up here, or at least last topic of discussion. Do you think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would fit in with this universe of Batman?
No,
No,
100% no. No,
no.
stop it.
He, I think. Okay, we're talking about grounded version of Batman. I think Joaquin Phoenix, Batman would be even more grounded than this one. So I don't think it's gonna work because I think this one, like if Joaquin Phoenix was in this universe, he'd be dead already. I think he'd be done. But yeah, if they ever bring Batman to Joaquin Phoenix, that would be. And we're talking about this one. It would be. I think it would probably be like the weakest Batman we've seen. But yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix would be like 40 years older than this guy.
Right?
But I guess we can say that, I guess I can say we all agree that we all like this movie. I mean, we pointed out some things that we didn't like, but most of it was a lot of the things it's a lot of insightful things, which is,
yeah.
I'm kind of glad we kind of went that route with this review. I mean, because this is a new movie, especially being so early in this year. But did you guys have any last words?
Let me ask you guys this. Where do you guys rank this in your Batman movies? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
For me, I would say that this movie is a better Batman movie than The Dark Knight. Because The Dark Knight would when you think of The Dark Knight, you think of Joker. You don't think of Batman. That's kind of why I would prefer this movie more than The Dark Knight. Even though I love The Dark Knight, that's still one of my favorite of all time. But only because when we say The Dark Knight, I just think of Joker. I don't think of Batman. That's the only reason why. But I still think that The Dark Knight, the story is a lot better than the Batman, and the ending is a lot better. But if you're talking about Batman movie wise, I think the Batman is better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like you said, the Batman. I like the fact that this one legit. You see him learning how to be Batman. I mean, with Batman Begins, yeah, you saw that a little bit, but he was already OP.
His training arc.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, year one, he's already beating
He's
everybody
master
easily.
ninja.
He's a master already.
Somehow he's learned to master all of his gadgets that he just learned that he has. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, there's no flaw to this Batman besides his neck not being able to turn.
I love that part in Dark Knight.
This.
Lucius is like, oh, so you want to be able to turn your neck?
Yes, and that's what I like about this. Is he's legit it's 2 years into Batman, he still doesn't know how to be Batman, or he still doesn't know how to master his skills. But yeah, I would say that this is ranked really top of my list, because I feel like we finally have a Batman that, to me, I could say that is the Batman that I learned to love reading. The other movies, the actors for I feel that Ben Affleck would have been that in the top spot if they would have let him have his own Batman movie, but they didn't.
I agree, bro. I agree.
But everyone else, like you look at Christian Bale. Christian Bale is, it's just like, to me, it's too worried about having more on-screen time as himself. And that I'm not talking about as the character. I'm just talking about the person himself. It's like I want to be shown more of myself.
Mhm.
But I mean, Michael Keaton. He is our we grew up watching him as Batman, but he wasn't truly Batman. He was a, in my opinion, he was just a name that they were like, okay, what movie can we? What's the next movie we can make? Well, Batman's popular. Let's make a Batman movie. But
the times are different in that.
Yeah, the time was different. They probably never even read a Batman movie. They know who people are, but they probably never even read a comic book. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll just grab a popular actor and make him Batman.
Yeah. So it was a different time then. So I mean, he was. I mean, it's great because I mean, we finally got a Dark Batman movie when Michael Keaton came out. But the Batman, to me, it ranks number one.
I actually see where I'm kind of flawed is I'm usually impressionable by like what's most relevant. So for now, that list is going to change later, but for now, yeah, I would rank this slightly higher than the Dark Knight. Well, no, actually a little more higher than that. Just because like I'm a sucker also for like the cinematics of it, and I think the way that they directed it and everything was just brilliant. Story writing, brilliant. Again with the misdirection and everything. And yeah, the whole human aspect to it, like where it's just, you know, this isn't a fully developed Batman. You know, it'd be kind of like, I'll be honest, I'm not saying it would be boring, but it would be less interesting to see if, you know, if he already was well equipped with everything and had no development, you know. So with those in mind, I'd say it ranks. It's number one, definitely. But I know that with time, I know I'm gonna be more critical of it. So that might change. But for now, yeah, number one.
What about you, Ricky?
Oh man, you guys are not gonna like my answer. I'm gonna say because the Dark Knight trilogy is complete. Okay, only because that's complete. That's still at the top for me. But this Batman, the Batman with Pattinson, is like just under it. Until this series is complete, then I will make a full assessment and say which one is better. But comparing, like let's just say comparing like part ones, I guess you could say part ones of Batman. This beats Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
This beats Batman Begins. Like I love Batman Begins. Like I loved how they focused on Bruce's training, but in this one, they just straight out say like, dude, he's still learning to be Batman. Like even when he is Batman, he's still learning. You know, I like that kind of development for this character versus where, like Michael said, like right off the bat, this dude is OP as hell. You know, so I again, like I've said it before in this podcast, man. Like I love how they just made it more humanistic. Like that, don't get me wrong, the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight, Nolan's version is in its own way a humanistic Batman too, like someone who's rich, but it's too superhero-esque. And what Matt Reeves Batman brings, again, like I've said, is just this detective element. You don't feel like you're watching a superhero movie when you're watching this. You feel like you're watching a mystery,
like a horror movie.
A slasher,
a
it's
reverse horror movie.
Yeah, you know, it's like you forget, or at least for me, I forgot that I was watching Batman. I was more into the story. I was like, so
that's
the
actually,
Waynes are like, you know, like the Waynes are like this, you know. I was more focused on that than like, that's right, the Riddler's still around.
No, so freaking true. It's just like, you know, you don't really realize how I didn't realize how into the suspense I was, and until you mentioned that. I'm like, yeah, because you're more invested in the story than like actually like the characters in the story. So good point.
And I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because we're so programmed into most people are programmed into not actually watching movies for the stories anymore.
Mhm.
They're more focused on action all the time. Which this is why I don't really argue with people who didn't like the movie. Because I get the movie was long and it was an actual story. It wasn't a full pack action movie like
Oh yeah.
The Avengers or something.
Yeah, I blame the MCU.
Yeah, so I think most of the hate is just because there was an actual story.
Oh, can I
Yeah.
just bring up a point? I know I said I was going to wrap up, but there's one more point that just crossed my mind. The part where Batman's fighting those assailants that the Riddler rounded up. The green liquid he injected in himself. Do you think that's venom that Bane uses?
I thought about that when I first saw it, and then I was like, I think it's just adrenaline. But then, because so many people are saying, "Oh, it's Venom," they're probably gonna make it Venom.
Yeah, I feel like Matt Reeves is gonna tease a little bit of it. So I think it is maybe.
I think so too, because if it was just adrenaline, I don't think he would have like made it green. I think they would just like use
yellow.
like a
Yeah,
like
right.
or just like a regular like
Yeah,
EpiPen type injector.
because I do think if I'm correct, they did mention how he had Bruce Wayne had a thing about chemistry. He likes mixing chemicals together, and one of the true origins of, I mean, there was before like Bane came around, Bruce was addicted to Venom. I think I have that story somewhere, or
Dude, imagine they
Yo.
implement that where Bruce is like addicted to taking drugs
maybe
while
that's
being Batman.
I mean,
Like not like
makes
hardcore
sense.
drugs, but like enhancing drugs, like
'Cause-
performance enhancing drugs.
Because think we still don't know year one Batman of this arc. Maybe he had to rely on that a lot, during his early, during year one when he's like still just coming out and fighting crime, So
Shit, you think he took that when he fell, like when he dove out the building? You think he took that after he fell?
maybe
I don't know,
pretty
probably.
sure off screen, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
That
he
was
was behind the
awful.
building. He's like, "Oh shit!"
I
That
just
hurt. You're like-
I love that shot though, because it's just like one thing I told Ricky about is that I love about the movie is like there's a couple of like awkwardly long scenes that like feel like they should be cut, but I think they did a lot of justice by not cutting it. Like when he fell, it showed like a few seconds of him just like getting up and like limping off, like instead of just like cutting,
Yeah.
shows a lot of his human side too. So.
Some of that stuff was necessary, but there was a lot of those slow moments where I was like, they could have just cut this.
Sure.
Yeah, it didn't need to be 3 hours long. I mean,
Okay.
that's just my honest thing. But I love the movie. That's maybe my main gripe about it. It could have been 2.5 hours easily.
Nah, I mean, if you can watch Endgame, come on, man.
Yeah, but Endgame didn't feel that slow.
Well,
Endgame
Endgame has the build up.
You're invested.
To this
Yeah,
movie.
you're invested into the character and the story already. This is just something right off the bat. Like when Ricky told me he was like dozing off in the beginning of the film, I was like I kind of got that feel too. I didn't like doze off or anything, but you can blame the recliners for that, Ricky.
And looking up. If I'm looking up at something and I'm leaning back, I'm gonna knock out, dude. I don't care.
It's all the rest.
no matter what movie
that,
it is.
go to sleep. Yeah.
Movie did bring suspense with like how slow it was, and the soundtrack for the sound effects. It's like you're like, hurry up now, like. It makes you feel unimpatient, but it does a good job of making you be like,
get to the next part.
Get to
man.
it, like.
I mean, I'll say for me, like I was never bored or uninterested.
No,
Like if I were to go back and watch it again, I would be, and I think that's where it might fall off. It's just like rewatchability is gonna fall off because it's 2.5, almost 3 hours long. But for the first time through, at least for me, I would say I really loved the pacing. So
there's like one part after Batman takes the adrenaline and he like beats the shit out of that guy, right? He beats him to a pulp. I don't know why I found this scene so funny, but when Gordon's like Batman, or like he's like, hey, you gotta stop it, and he turns on, and he's like, like he's all like hyped up. And then like I don't know what it was, like his face was just so funny to me, and he's like holding his fist. I was like sitting there cracking up, like, oh my god, dude, like I can't take him seriously. It's too like that. It's supposed to be a serious moment, but I just found it funny because it's just like he comes up and he's like, oh, like he's
His facial reaction.
I don't know why I found that funny. It's just like it reminded me of like a Christian Bale moment, like how Christian Bale swings at Bane, and he just like he can't swing all the way because the suit is too tight.
But no, I'm glad you brought that point because I totally like overlooked that part. And what drove him to that part too, where it's just like he really was like at his limits. Like whenever I think it was Catwoman was getting getting attacked, and he was like physically trying to get up, but he couldn't. So then he took that. I forgot all about that scene for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I hope that with this sequel, whatever villain they pick or whatever they do, I hope that they still keep this consistent like theme going. I really love this theme, and like I've said, I don't even need to ask y'all, like, did you like this movie? I know y'all love this movie.
I loved it.
And
I liked so much for I couldn't wait for you to get out of the theater, so I messaged
I
you
know.
right away.
Andrew's like, did you watch it yet? I'm like, dude, I'm almost done.
No, yeah, because like I knew you were an hour behind me now, and because you told me you're gonna go see it at 8:00, and you probably won't see it till like 9 my time. I got done at 10 my time. You were still in the movie. I'm like, all right, I know T already watched it. I'm gonna message T. First person, like I was in the hallway waiting for my wife, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna message T.
But you guys, thank you guys for doing this, man. I know I went a little bit over the time limit that I was expecting to go for, but I enjoyed this discussion with y'all, man. I really liked how you guys had your own insight and input, man. But yeah, thank you guys, dude.
Yep, thank you, man.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
see you,
man.
Dr.
So this is
Strange.
what's that? Doctor
Dr.
Strange. Oh yeah. We can have
do
a Doctor
another one.
Strange roundtable. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. But for now, this is episode 112, you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Check out all the previous episodes. Like, share, subscribe to Spoiler Force Podcast. Also, I think by the time this episode drops, I should be at Nietzsche Fest, right, Michael? Is it Nishi or Nietzsche?
Nishi
Fest in Arlington, Texas. I got a media pass, my first ever media pass. So,
You're moving up, bro.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
even though it's a 1-day event, but I got approved, and big things are happening. So I'll try to drop this episode before then. If not, then you probably would have seen me at Nishi Fest already. So, but thank you guys again. Thank you guys for your time, dude, and enjoy your day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give a review and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want to get all Spoiler Force updates or even peeks at behind the scenes, you can join the Spoiler Force Discord community. And if you'd like to show support, give tips, recommendations, sponsorships, or any collaborations, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com.